This video is an opinion piece. I draw attention to the disclaimer at the beginning, which states that nothing I say should be taken seriously. Nothing I say today is presented as fact. I'm exercising my right to freedom of speech under Article 10 of the Human Rights Act. Now, I'm aware that of late, many of my videos haven't been as jovial as they used to be. But the world, in my opinion anyway, isn't as much fun as it used to be. Particularly when it comes to politics, or at least British politics, and what I'll be discussing again today, a certain demographic within the community who all follow the same religion. Because I believe in the Western world, we really need to wake up. We aren't being infiltrated, we have been infiltrated, and now it's a show of force. Recently, I made a video about the upcoming Mayor of New York, Zohran Mamdani, the first ever Muslim Mayor of New York. And this guy was born in Uganda and then lived in South Africa before his family moved to America. And he makes a big song and dance about that, about being born in the third world, in an impoverished country. What he fails to mention is that both of his parents were multi-millionaires, and the first job he'll ever have is Mayor of New York. The man has never been employed in his life. But he comes across as very westernised and very civilised. In the same way that Sadiq Khan in London does the same thing. It's the same trick. Look at me, I'm just like you. Ignore that I'm a member of a 7th century death cult. And of course the former First Minister of Scotland, Humza Useless, he did the same thing. He was famous for his anti-white tirade in the Scottish Parliament, complaining that there are too many white people in Scotland. Because of course it's easy to confuse Edinburgh and Cairo. Anyway, he's had another rant. This time, listen to what he says and also listen to the subtext.
First of all, the disinformation that is being spread about Muslims and Pakistanis, I'm afraid, is only going to get worse. Unless we are, in fact, to counter it, we have to be proactive, but it's going to get worse. And you can already hear the commentary among some when it comes to the, for example, inquiry on grooming gangs. Never forgetting the point, of course, that the vast majority of sexual offences that are committed against children are committed by the white community, not by the British Pakistani community. But there's not been a national inquiry into that. Don't get me wrong, where there's systemic failures, the people have covered things up, that should absolutely be exposed and lessons should be learned. But let's be clear, the onus on countering the disinformation of the far right is not just our responsibility. Yes, I'll come to what we can do, but it is the responsibility of the whole of society. Because we are today's target, tomorrow it'll be somebody else.
So effectively, he's making out the ongoing scandal about the grooming gangs, that thousands of white and Sikh young girls and women who were industrially graped by gangs of Pakistani Muslim men is far-right propaganda. Yes, we know, Humza, that the majority of men who do terrible things to women and girls in the UK will be white because it's a majority white country. But the grooming gangs do it on an industrial level, and he talks about the disinformation of the far right. What you mean? Facts! And he says, you are today's target, referring to the Muslim community? No, Humza, sadly, today's target is the same as it has been for centuries, it's the Jews. But this time it's being whipped up by your lot. Because there aren't any no-go areas for Muslims in London or Birmingham or Leicester, etc. But there are plenty where you get large majority Muslim populations. What a vile piece of shit. Next up,
Imam Ibn al-Qayyim said that music leads a man to being a homosexual. And I told you all these things are connected. Things that are feminine, like wearing silk, music, alcohol, fornication, each one leads to the other. You listen to music, it's gonna lead you to get drunk because you're gonna listen to music in a club and you're gonna sleep with a chick after. You sleep with a chick, your shame is gonna go so low that eventually you're gonna say, I got bored of sleeping with so many chicks. Let me try something new. That's what that guy did. I won't mention his name, but that famous singer from California, he's dead now. They asked him, why'd you turn gay? He said, I slept with so many girls, I got bored. So I wanted to try men now. So he started trying men. Look at all these artists, I told you. Them men are walking around with rainbow hair. You got gangsters. You don't know what I'm talking about, right? These rappers walking around with rainbow hair. He's got rainbow hair. And everyone's looking at him. Don't they see he's turning gay?
What I'm about to say, some people over on the far left, the woke mob, will say is a form of Islamophobia. I'll say no, I'm just debunking his argument. Music makes you gay. That comes as news to me, given that I've been playing guitar for over 30 years. And I wouldn't have a problem if I was gay. It'd just be nice to know about it. It would come as a shock to my wife. And he says that wearing silk is feminine. How can I put this sensitively? I know he's wearing traditional Islamic robes, but as a Westerner, I'm looking at a man there who looks like he's wearing a dress and slingback sandals. Right, so music makes you drink alcohol. If that's the case, it's a fucking bad idea to fit stereos in cars. And from drinking alcohol, you sleep with a chick. A chick! Has 1987 come around again? That being said, the 80s would still be 1400 years ahead of where he's fucking living. And after you've slept with so many women, you want to try something else. There's so much projection coming off this guy. He is such a repressed homosexual. And maybe he's a virgin, or maybe he just wants to try having intercourse with someone who isn't his first cousin. And he talks about this musician from California who turned gay, but he won't name him. Yes, because he doesn't fucking exist. People don't turn gay, they are gay. Maybe they find out about it later in life, but it's sort of built in. And having your hair dyed can turn you homosexual. Thank fuck I'm bald. And just as bad as the Islamists are their woke supporters.
Simply don't have anywhere that sells halal food. So the positivity I would like to bring is that not only that we help them, but they can help us, be it through new cultures, be it through new ways of living, new rituals that we can learn about, new foods, new tastes. For example, in East Talbot, we simply don't have anywhere that sells halal food. I mean, they've got to take the trip to Swansea then to find that food. I've written to Tesco, I've written to different outlets in East Talbot if they can provide halal food, and they simply say no, they don't have the demand. Well, if that's the case, then how are they accommodating those very people who are the most vulnerable, who will only eat that food in their every...
The issue here is quite simple. It's supply and demand. If shops in a certain area don't have the demand for a certain product, they simply won't stock it. Now, I'm not a vegan or a vegetarian, but if I'm eating meat, I'd rather know that that animal was humanely killed, rather than forced to walk backwards in its own blood in some bizarre medieval torture ritual. And the most vulnerable people in society? This group are the most protected within society. We've seen, under alleged two-tier policing, they get way more protection from the old bill. It's the only religion where the government are trying to push through a special law making it illegal to criticise them. My God, in Wales, the politicians are as bad as Labour.
We're commanded to terrorize the disbelievers. And this is a religion, like I said.
Commanded to terrorize the disbelievers?
The Quran says very clearly in the Arabic language, Torhibuna. This means terrorize them. It's a command from Allah.
If the devil is talking openly, then best listen to him. That man there says that his God openly commands to terrorise non-believers. So in the modern world, we could say that it's to commit acts of terrorism. And he's saying it openly.
Shut your piss ass, jump. Go jump on the treadmill.
I'm just having him on my panel so people can see what these people act like. That's all. Go.
I don't care.
Please.
You insult my prophet. And you insult my prophet. You insult my prophet. You're executed. You are executed. You get this when you execute the prophet. And I don't take that. I don't apologize for that. You're disgracing the honor of our prophet. You get this.
There's a weird thing about the religion of peace, because their God, who I won't name, his prophet, Muhammad, has been elevated way above God. You can say what you like about the God, but don't insult the prophet Muhammad, despite him being, by modern standards, probably a paranoid schizophrenic, and known to be a mass-murdering genocidal pedo. But if you say a word against him, you will be executed. And that man, again, is saying it openly. If he were from any other group in society, he'd be fucking arrested.
We start saying like this, like that. There's no need. And just to clarify as well, yes, jizya is taken from the non-Muslims. We take the jizya from the non-Muslims, the combatants, the enemies of Allah and His Rasul, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, in exchange. And when we say like tax, it's not like a council tax or road tax that you're paying. You understand? And I'll get to that point as well, is we're taking in exchange for your blood. for your life. Do you understand? We're taking it in exchange for your blood, for your life. This is mentioned by the commentators of the Quran as well. The Mufassirin, they've explained, the Fuqaha have gone into detail. And why are we taking this? Is because you are a rebellion. You are rebellious against Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And because we have mercy, Islam has mercy, we're saying,
pay tax. I already do, mate. Like most people, I pay income tax that pays for you to be here. Because followers of the religion of peace in the UK are the most economically inactive group within society. Now, I take nothing away from the doctors and nurses of the NHS, but aside from them, the few who do work tend to work as taxi drivers or as barbers or in any other industry where they're paid cash in hand, so allegedly they could fiddle their tax, but you know, we know they're good at fiddling things. But to tax us because we're rebellious? Mate, you follow a religion that was cobbled together by parts of other religions, put together by a man who I do not admire, and I'm sure that's become clear. You come to other people's countries, demand we bend over backwards for you, and then call us rebellious. Why don't you fuck off somewhere else if you don't like it? And I'm not being racist, I'm being rational. If I went to fucking Syria and asked to build a church, they'd kill me. Yet they come to Britain, America, the Western world and make the same demands, and we bend over backwards to fucking accommodate them. I've got one clip left. Listen to this very carefully.
These events, these activities, this unity must grow and continue and take over not just parts of Birmingham, but the whole of Birmingham, the whole of the West Midlands, the whole of the UK. Grassroots democracy in action. And we, our communities, have shown the establishment and the rest of the country that we will not be taken for granted, and we will win. The establishment know that if you let one person stand up to them and speak the truth to people about what power is doing to them, then more people will stand up, and there will come a point when we all stand up against oppression, against injustice, and against corruption in politics. You see the power of solidarity. You see the power of solidarity, the power of all of us together. Individually, we may feel helpless, lonely, often frightened. Together, nothing can stop us. No tyrant can rule us. No party, government, or dictator can demand from us subservience. Together, we are powerful. Remember that and take that message onto the streets of Birmingham and share it with every single person you know in this country and abroad.
First Birmingham, then the West Midlands, and then the UK. They don't want to integrate, they want to dominate. And they're playing the victim card. Oh, we're oppressed. They're against corruption in politics. To be fair, mate, I'll give you that one, so am I. But playing the victim and acting the aggressor. Sorry to invoke Godwin's law, but in the late 1920s and early 1930s in Germany, that's exactly what fucking Adolf Hitler was doing. I know that wasn't a very funny video. It was very short on laughs, but I was trying to make a serious point. Nonetheless, I've made a few fuck-ups, so at least there's some bloopers. Anyway, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you could leave a like, a comment, or share the video, that really helps the algorithm. If you'd like to support me in making these videos, and thank you to everyone who's done so far, there are links in the description to buy me a coffee and to my Patreon, and as ever, thanks for watching. Listen to the subtext there. Trying to make out that the Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs are actually a far-right conspiracy theory. It's almost... So listening to music makes you gay. It's no wonder we've got a falling birth rate. I mean, maybe there's something in it. Last time I watched Dua Lipa live at the Albert Hall, when she came out in that black ball dress, I was thinking, my God, I'd love some cock right now. So that's a Welsh politician from... I never know how to say it. Welshist, is it Plaid Cymru or Clyde Cymru? Because you fuckers don't use letters the same way the rest of us do. No offence, your country's beautiful. With no sense of irony, he wants non-Muslims to pay taxes, and I'm guessing he doesn't want to. Yeah, there's the difference, you see. If you insult the Prophet Muhammad, then Muslims want to kill you. If you insult Jesus, Christians will forgive you and then throw you a coffee morning. I think for me the main difference is if we look at... Fuck.